Hey guys, Crypto Dad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins. Gonna move some crypto around for you guys. I tested out and did a video this week on the OneKey Classic cryptocurrency hardware wallet. So we'll play around with that. It's a cool wallet, and equally cool is their open source software, which you can download for free and use for free. And you can generate standalone wallets, or you can use it in conjunction with their hardware. So it's pretty cool. And they have a companion app for the phone as well. So let's play around with that. I wanted to talk about phones and seed phrases. Hopefully I won't forget to cover that. I don't know if I wrote it down or not. It's kind of an issue. There's so many things I want to talk with you guys about, and sometimes I forget to cover them. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We went to the Oktoberfest this morning or this afternoon here in Grand Rapids, down in Riverwalk Park, and my wife got a shirt for me. Let's see here. Beer City's only German beer fest, Oktoberfest. Pretty cool. We didn't get any beer. The beer line was just insane. But we got there in time for the Dachshund race, which was really cool, where, you know, a bunch, like 8 people with dachshunds line up, and then somebody's on the other side and they see which dachshund gets to the owner on the other side first. It was really amazing. It's fun, you know, because some of the dogs just like start playing with the other ones. And then we went and had some genuine German food, Wiener Schnitzel, bratwurst. We forgot to get the apple strudel. But all of it was really good. The homemade sauerkraut and the German potato salad was just awesome. My son and I played beanbag toss, but the beer line was way too long, and I could have taken or leave having the beer this afternoon because I'm doing the live stream tonight. But I thought to myself, well, one decent beer is not going to knock me out of commission or anything. And my wife wanted to drink some beer, but after we ate, by that time it was 2 o'clock or whatever, and the line for getting the beer tickets was just to the moon. So we didn't get any beer. I have some Oktoberfest beer here. So I told her, we got some beer at home if you want. So I think she had a beer this afternoon. Anyway, like I said, it's great to be here. Thanks, everyone, for being here tonight. Let's go over to the big screen. Let me see. Whoops, not this screen. Not that big screen. Yeah, this screen. And I want to thank everyone that's here tonight. Andreas Ebert here seems to be coming early pretty regularly. Nice to have you here. Kenny is here, as always. Thanks for the news stories this week. I hope you did well in the golf tournament. I think you went on Friday. So hope that turned out really good for you. My dad got his first hole-in-one last week. He sent some pictures. I don't remember if they were on my phone or if he sent them in an email. But first hole-in-one in 70 years of playing golf, he said. He's 78 years old. He started playing golf in Garrett, Indiana when he was 8 years old, and he had never made a hole-in-one until last week. So he's pretty pumped about that. And I am too. I think it's pretty exciting. Paul Bruner, he was asking me about mind tricks, and I Googled it, and there was a website, and then I got a virus alert. It may or may not be a scam, but pretty much most of the Bitcoin cloud mining companies are scams. I hate to besmirch if there are any legitimate ones, but most of them are scams. I have to tell you. This whole idea of paying a monthly fee to get a piece of a cloud mining company, it's a little I mean, when you think about it, it's a little weird to begin with. You know, if you want to mine Bitcoin, get a mining rig, whatever, make the investment or whatever, but or buy stock in a Bitcoin mining company. You can buy stock in lots of, Bitcoin mining companies from over-the-board brokers. There are lots of big, I'm trying to think of the big one. I can't think of it, but there's a lot of mining companies that are listed on the major exchanges. So if you want to invest in Bitcoin mining, then buy stock in a mining company. But these fly-by-night schemes where they want you to pay some kind of monthly fee and they're promising you mining rewards, most of these are scams, unfortunately. As I was lamenting last week, it's really breaks my heart and it disgusts me how many scams are out there in crypto land, taking advantage of good-hearted people, with honest money that they earned through hard work. And there's so many people out there just trying to scam them, and it's really sad. Let's see. Simon is here. Thank you for being here. Asil, good to have you here as always. Emmanuel, thank you for being here. Amsterdam, Holland. Treb3, Diatom Ranger, thanks for coming back again. P Wizzle, thanks for being here from Quincy, Massachusetts. And someone mentioned that they were from Melbourne. I found out that it's pronounced Melbourne, right? Not Melbourne, which is what most of the silly Americans, how they pronounce it, I guess. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's Melbourne. Christopher Thane, good to have you. Daniel Bertie, Sports Highlights. You. Mustafa Lamb with his emojis in tow. And I think that's everyone. Thank you so much for being here, everyone, tonight. If you guys have never been in the live stream before, if you're a first timer, I would direct your attention to the description down below. As you can see here, I was working on getting all of the news stories covered, pasted in to the description down below where you can reference the news story I'm talking about and, click the link if you want to read the entire story yourself. We've got a little overview of what we're going to do tonight, some discussions of topic. I'd like to talk about the government shutdown. I don't know if they're going to avert it. Last I heard, the Senate managed to pass a CR, which is a continuing, I think it's continuing resolution or whatever. And they stripped out all of the controversial stuff, like the aid to Ukraine and the border security was stripped out. So it's just like, hey, can you just give us another 30 days or whatever it is? And it might pass the House before midnight. We'll see. But we're getting closer to a government shutdown. Let's talk about how that affects Bitcoin and the Bitcoin market. We'll talk about that. Jump in, throw up your comments about that topic as I'm doing the news, and then I'll read through everything and we can have an exchange of ideas about how what the government shutdown means to you, and is it good or bad for the crypto industry and market, right? And then number two is a discussion which we've had quite often on this, and it goes something like this. I don't trust Ledger. They're not open source, right? And so the answer to that is, well, use Trezor, it's open source. And then I hear, I don't trust Trezor, they've been hacked. Okay, so because of your issues, you've just taken the two top cryptocurrency hardware wallets off the board, right? Because of your trust issues and your, you're thinking hackers are hiding in your curtains kind of stuff. So I'd like to talk a little bit about, crypto and trust and hacking. Well, I know we've talked about this a lot, and don't forget, we've got an agenda, stuff I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about the OneKey Classic wallet, which I did a review of on my channel this week. I did a quick short about Tangem. I don't know if I think I did the Tangem earlier in the week. We played with Tangem last week. And I noticed that they have a new wallet that's available for pre-order that has an optional backup. That's kind of a game changer for Tangem. So I did a video on that, just kind of an announcement. And then the good, wonderful people over at OneKey. And OneKey is a Hong Kong-based company. I get a lot of people in my comments that don't trust wallets made in China, right? I mean, if you really think about it, I'm like, I wouldn't trust any wallet made in like Virginia, right? Too close to CIA headquarters, right? They don't trust the ones in Paris. Trezor is Eastern European. I can't remember the country where Trezor is based. I want to say Estonia, but I think that's incorrect. But it is an Eastern European country. Seriously, I think hardware wallet companies are kind of above their politics, Tuna Beast 9000, thanks for the subscription. A lot of people don't trust anything made in China, but most of what we use is made in China. Go figure. But Hong Kong has been, a hub of business for many years. It is technically owned by China, but it has a lot of, British influence. It's an international business center. The wonderful, wonderful people over at the OneKey company had sent me this wallet and then this backup card and the OneKey tag. And I had just not gotten to reviewing those, and I felt really bad, and so I broke them out this week, and I said, doggone it, I'm going to do this video. Intro unboxing videos are technically challenging. I need multiple cameras to get the angle. I'm dealing with a piece of hardware, they are technically challenging, and it's long. It usually ends up being a long video. This video, I managed to shave it down to less than 40 minutes. But most people, when they look at a YouTube video and see the length, just move on to the next thing. But that's my bread and butter. I do wallet reviews. Wallet reviews are not like 60-second shorts, right? They're not for people with short attention spans. But this is a really cool wallet, really cool software. So I wanted to talk a little bit. We'll play around with that wallet tonight. So that's all the stuff in the description. Oh, I'm sorry. In the description of the live stream, there's some stuff here. You can get a hold of me if you want. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and shoot me an email if you have a question. I'd be happy to do my best to get an answer to your question via email. I got a little podcast on Spotify, which I forgot to post to this week. While we're on the subject, I am recording the live stream this week. So if you guys are getting any latency, it is Czech Republic. Thank you, Chippy. That's correct. The Trezor is made in the Czech Republic. If there's any latency you guys notice, please shout out. But it seems to be going pretty good while I'm recording to my hard drive and streaming at the same time. That way I will have a pristine 4K video to work from. It's really odd that being a YouTuber, you post your video, it's in 4K on YouTube when you watch it, but when I go to my own YouTube studio and click download to get the a video that I've posted, they only download in 720p 30 frames per second, which is horrible quality. And some of the stuff I do on the live stream, it turns out to be pretty good, and I'll take little short pieces of it and post them standalone. So I'm recording tonight. So all right, well, enough housekeeping, enough about me. Let's jump into the news real quick. One more thing I wanted to point out, that you can buy Tangem wallets on Amazon, and I do have an Amazon storefront where I have my recommendations here. I posted a OneKey. I posted a video to that. I'm going to maybe start posting a little on Amazon to try to help pay the bills a little bit. Amazon, they are a corporate behemoth or whatever, and they're being sued by the FTC for monopolistic practices, but I use them on a daily basis, right? I don't know anybody that doesn't. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people that don't. But when you want something fast and, you want to be able to return it if you don't want it, Amazon is the place to be. And there are a lot of hardware companies out there that have Amazon stores. Tangem, OneKey, Ledger, and Trezor all have stores on Amazon where you can buy their products. So if you're interested in any of those products, please check out my Amazon page, amazon.com/shop the CryptoDad. I think there's a link to it down in the description below for some of my suggestions. So the first story is about the Bitcoin market. Oh, hello, Barbara. Hello, JDO. Thanks for being here tonight. Mark Cuban's crypto wallet has been hacked on MetaMask. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You might want to check out that live stream. Nobody's sure. He claims that he was hacked, quote unquote, hacked by some kind of live hacker that was somehow had remote access to his machine. But the most likely explanation is that he revealed his seed phrase inadvertently. I mean, that is the most common way of getting quote unquote hacked. And that really doesn't fit the definition of what most people think of as hacking. If I'm at the bank or whatever, and I look over your shoulder and note your checking account number, or somehow serendipitously steal your private information by simply looking over your shoulder, you wouldn't call that a hack. That's more of a scam, right? So when people reveal their seed phrases, that doesn't require any hacking skills, right? You don't need to know Linux. You don't have to be, a Tor master with a hoodie, in the dark or anything. If someone reveals their seed phrase, all you have to do is restore the wallet and you can get all their funds. So the number one way that people lose their crypto is by revealing their seed phrase to inadvertently, or someone tricks them into it. So I'm pretty sure he's rich. He's probably got a lot of people around him, assistants and whatever. Who knows? But I think it's most likely he revealed the seed phrase of that somehow. Could have been a malicious smart contract. We don't know for sure. All right. So, but this is the market story right now. Bitcoin slips below 27K, but what might government shutdown mean? Actually, we're just a little above 27K, which is pretty cool because that's what I titled the live stream. Bitcoin clings to 27,000, right? And here we are. So I got lucky that time. I put up that title, I don't know, last night, I think. So here we are at 27,000. What might government shutdown mean for prices? So we'll talk a little bit about, the mainstream. While Bitcoin remains on track to end its 6-year streak of September losses, a modest pullback ahead of what could be an imminent federal government shutdown could put this month's advance in jeopardy. Okay, so this author is actually believing that the government shutdown will be bad for the Bitcoin market, which is a pretty good argument. The largest crypto by market capitalization changed hands at 26,800 on Friday afternoon, posting a 3.2% return this month so far. We'll talk about that a little bit in the next story. Okay, so it's come down. Pardon me, it's come down slightly. Let's see. I guess. Oh, okay. Here we go. The oppressive macro uncertainty is still a major headwind. So. Bond markets around the world are flashing signs of distress as yields have reached multi-year records in the US, UK, Germany, and Japan, to name just a few markets. The looming U.S. government shutdown adds to the uncertainty and noted that the U.S. consumer spending growth in quarter two is revised lower, an indication that consumers might not be that resilient to tightening financial conditions. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to poke around looking through websites and news sites right now, but I believe that it was either the consumer spending or the job data was revised lower every month this year. I don't remember if it was this stat or the one of the unemployment stats or something, but this is turning into a real pattern, and it's almost as if the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. The Bureau of Labor, so the BMI or whatever they call themselves, they're part of the blob, right? They're part of the government, the Biden administration. They take their marching orders from them. It's like they think we're stupid, right? So what they do is they'll release what they look like rosy numbers when everyone's watching, right? When the markets are watching, and then a month later, they'll revise it lower when no one's really paying attention. And okay, you might get away with that once or twice a year or whatever, and hopefully sometimes you'll revise higher a month later or two. But this year, that stat, I think it's the consumer spending, it might be unemployment, has been revised lower every single month. So it's like, who do they think they're kidding? Sounds the sorry state of affairs, if you ask me. Let's see, as scary as this may sound, during the 21 government shutdowns in the past, the S&P 500 rose 55% of the time. Okay, generating an average of a return of 0.3%, which is nothing. That's like below statistical significance, if you ask me. So that's not much of a stat, if you ask. Correlation does not prove causation. But needless to say, okay, this is their status. Oh, don't worry, it's happened 21 times before, and the market rose slightly each time, right? So don't worry, right? As it gets worse and worse. Let's see, what is this? I don't know, S&P 500 price return. The last one was the standoff between Nancy Pelosi and Trump, and it was over financing, right? Trump wanted money for the wall. Nancy didn't want to give it. The Congress was deadlocked, and we went into a shutdown. I believe Nancy ended up winning that, and they didn't get any wall funding eventually, right? And look where we are now. Digital asset investment firm said the government shutdown could delay regulatory decisions as the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission staff will be radically reduced. Well, at least there's a bright side to the shutdown, right? A spot Bitcoin ETF will have to wait until after SEC employees come back from a potential furlough. Okay. All right, so that's what the mainstream predictions are about the government shutdown, and we are not going to know until midnight tonight. So unless they've already announced it, let me just do a quick news check here. If they did vote, Congress set to avert shutdown after abandoning Ukrainian funds. All right, so it looks like they might avert it anyway. So we're just talking about something that's not going to happen, looks like. And then another big story, Bitcoin price posting best September since 2016 as BTC sellers eye 27,000.5K. Bitcoin remains on track to produce surprisingly solid September performance, but BTC price remains down over 11% in quarter three. From when? From the beginning of the year? Okay, so bulls lost their grip into September 30th as the monthly and quarterly close loom large. Well, as it stands, they haven't. This article was written earlier. We're still, if we can keep over 27K, that would be nice. Before the end of the day, right? Bitcoin trades 24/7, but chartists and guys like that like to attach arbitrary dates to performance, And so Bitcoin will officially close. Actually, I think it closes at 8. That's if Dan's around. Dan knows these. But I think the official closing for the week for Bitcoin is like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe before the end of the live stream, we'll know, right? Okay. But good action, good. It's good that Bitcoin is doing well in September. Best performance since 2016. The largest cryptocurrency remained nearly 4% month to date, marking its most successful September since 2016. Pretty impressive. I've been pretty impressed. It seems like I had lost faith in Bitcoin. I felt like it was being manipulated by large financial interests like BlackRock or Vanguard. But Bitcoin never ceases to surprise and amaze me, its market performance. Bitcoin itself always impresses and amazes me. The system based on advanced cryptography for a decentralized currency not controlled by banks is truly amazing and groundbreaking, right? But the market action of Bitcoin defies gravity sometimes too. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we're looking at a good September for the price of Bitcoin. And this is kind of the elephant in the room, right? It's been a big part of the Bitcoin market story since 2017. It was in 2017 that I believe one of the very first Bitcoin ETF applications was submitted. And I believe that it was 2017 or early 18 when the first Bitcoin futures contracts were debuted on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So people have been talking about Bitcoin ETFs for Bitcoin for many years. And of course, we're looking at a lot of capital sitting on the sidelines that might or might not be interested in Bitcoin that would be able to easily invest in Bitcoin were there a Bitcoin ETF. And it's just been kind of the holy grail for the Bitcoin market since 2017. I had sort of given up hope on Bitcoin ETFs over the years. They never seemed to get approved. But the markets would swoon whenever there was somebody applied and as the date approached, and then they would always be disappointed by the SEC. But this time might be different, right? So for those of you who don't know, a Bitcoin ETF means exchange traded fund. It's a fund that will purchase Bitcoin and hold it, and they'll sell shares of their company so people can invest in a company that's holding Bitcoin and sort of indirectly invest in the price of Bitcoin because the value of those companies will reflect the current market price of Bitcoin. And, the basics of markets are the more people want to buy something, the higher the price goes, right? So if you've got a lot of institutional money waiting on the sidelines for a quick and easy way to invest in Bitcoin, this is it, right? A new report indicated Bitcoin ETFs could release $600 billion in new demand, double Bitcoin's current market cap. Here's some math behind the estimates. United States Appellate Court directed the Securities and Exchange Commission in August to reassess its denial of Grayscale's application for a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. A little noted consequence of that decision is that it could open the floodgates for $600 billion in new cash to enter the cryptocurrency market. I should mention that SEC delayed their decision on several applications last week, I believe. It was Grayscale and maybe ARK and a couple of others. Maybe not ARK. I think her application is staggered from those. But yeah, but they didn't deny it. They just delayed it, right? So ETF provide investors with a regulated way. Yeah. I told you all that. Despite some hurdles, market and analysts anticipate potential Bitcoin ETF approval by early 2024. A Bitcoin ETF could unlock an estimated $600 billion in new demand, according to a September report by an analyst at Bernstein, more than doubling the approximately $550 billion fully diluted market cap at which Bitcoin stands today. However, these predictions are speculative, with the actual outcome depending on various factors such as the market dynamics, company strategies, and regulatory responses. Notably, the SEC has delayed the decision on Cathie Wood's ARK-21 shares several times already. And as I mentioned, they delayed BlackRock last week. SEC Chair Gary Gensler's delays and rejections of Bitcoin ETF applications have drawn criticism and fueled investor frustration. A bipartisan group of lawmakers urged Gensler this month to grant immediate approval for an ETF, arguing that post-Grayscale court decision, there's no reason to deny spot crypto ETFs, which they believe would enhance investor safeguards. This congressional pressure further complicates the path to Bitcoin ETF approval, adding to the uncertainty as the ARK-21 shares Bitcoin ETF decision date approaches. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Another Mike. You keep talking about this Caspa. I don't like, to really evaluate coins in my live stream. I want people to trust me, right? If I were to, I will talk about the utility and the greatness of Bitcoin itself, but I'm not telling you to go run out there and invest all of your hard-earned money in Bitcoin. I'm suggesting that maybe you use Bitcoin, right? Which, of course, you're going to have to buy a little bit, but it doesn't have to be an investment, right? Just invest in a new technology, a decentralized currency, right? Not controlled by banks. But as far as other coins, I don't like to recommend people buy or not buy certain coins because if I say don't buy coin X and then, all my loyal followers take my advice and then coin X shoots to the moon, they're not going to be very happy with me. They're not going to trust me. And if I tell them to run out and buy this coin X and then they run out and buy it and then it crashes to zero, they're not going to like me very much. They're not going to trust me very much. So with every coin evaluation comes people that want to put their trust in me. And so I don't do it. I tell you the best way to hold your Bitcoin. I talk about several wallets. I give you your options, but I never tell people which wallet to buy. And that's my thing, right? I don't like to talk about coins on the live stream. In general, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I know you're obviously not a shiller, but we've had some, but we usually get those. But I will talk about the Tangem tonight. We talked a little bit about it already. I'm definitely going to get one. I got in contact with them, and we will talk a little bit about the Tangem because of the only way to do that seed phrase would be on the phone. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's see if we can get through this. There were a couple of interesting stories that I wanted to touch on tonight. FTX Hackers wallet stirs as Ethereum ETFs prepare for U.S. debut. So there's competing narratives with crypto. And one is that they're totally transparent, and that the other is that they're totally anonymous, right? A lot of people think Bitcoin is anonymous. It is not. It is what we might call pseudonymous, which means you don't necessarily have to attach your identity to your Bitcoin, but there are lots of signs or clues or hints around the way people use their Bitcoin that could tie that Bitcoin wallet to their identity. But Bitcoin is a transparent blockchain. You can see all of the transactions on it, as well as Ethereum. So for the average person, buying and storing Bitcoin or Ethereum is not anonymous in any way or form. You're usually buying it on exchanges, and you're putting it in a wallet on your computer, which is connected to the internet and has lots of cookies and all that stuff. So anybody that really wanted to could determine that you were the owner of that crypto. But there still are services and ways of interacting with cryptocurrency that can give you a reasonable level of privacy and security, and maybe ultimately some anonymity. I'm kind of thinking about doing some, like maybe starting a sub-channel on privacy and anonymity. I do already have several videos like that on my channel, but I'm thinking maybe a sub-channel just for that subject matter would be fun. You guys can give your opinions on that. But anyway, if you're not aware, when FTX announced that it was bankrupt or going bankrupt, there was this very suspicious hack that occurred just right after that. Almost a year after the FTX hack of 600 million in tokens. It's nothing to sneeze at. On-chain data revealed recent activity in the perpetrator's wallet, identified as, this is like the end of the front of the address or end of the address. This occurring closely to the launch of Ethereum-based ETF in the United States, okay? Based on on-chain data from Spot On-Chain, the exploiter, the person who stole this Ethereum, recently activated their address after a prolonged period. Presently, the wallet contains a substantial sum of 16.75 million of Ether, and he moved it. But the data reveals two transactions where the exploiter moved 2,500 ETH, each valued at 4 million. Transfers like this are often linked to selling activity, potentially impacting the price of Ethereum and affecting smaller investors. Additionally, the price of ETH could enter a bullish trend soon with the launch of various. Well, did they talk about did I skip over that? Huh. Because they talked about that they used, that's kind of weird. They used Railgun to move the crypto, and maybe I'm just not seeing it. It could be right in front of me, but I could have sworn there were some links to that. Maybe I'm looking at a different article. Maybe I'd read another article on this. Well, okay. That's kind of weird. Anyway, I seem to know somehow, which is not in this article, that he used Railgun and Tor Tornado. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, there. Okay, I guess that was a different article. Okay. Yes, it is. Sorry. This is the article that I read earlier about this. Ether held in a wallet associated with the FTX accounts drainer began moving for the first time in nearly a year. The funds were split into two and then a few times in subsequent transactions, with 700 ETH transferred using the Thor chain router and about 1,200 ETH being moved through the Railgun privacy tool. Another 550 ETH sitting in an intermediate wallet. So these are kind of like Bitcoin mixers. If you're not familiar with a Bitcoin mixer, it's kind of a service that's available usually on the dark web where you can put your Bitcoin in there and then you bring it out, it comes out clean. And the Bitcoin mixer will take several different Bitcoin transactions and kind of slice and dice them up and sort of clean the history of that Bitcoin. So a lot of people use mixers for legitimate reasons. One of the reasons that a legitimate person might use a Bitcoin mixer is that if your Bitcoin that you have purchased turns out to have a bad history, which can be traced on the blockchain, you might end up with Bitcoin that is tainted through no fault of your own. And so to avoid having someone come try to seize your Bitcoin, it would make sense to clean off that Bitcoin so that it has no history or traceable history. And so it wouldn't be subject to any kind of law enforcement activity. That's one reason. Now, I don't know about Ethereum. It's a little bit different. I know that, not Ethereum itself, but there are some stable coins that are more centralized, like Tether. And if an attacker exploits a site or something like that, and they've converted the crypto to Tether, those wallets can be frozen by the Tether company. I don't know if the Ethereum project can freeze Ethereum wallets. I'm assuming not, because this wallet is well known to be the wallet that was involved in this hack, and it has recently moved. So obviously they weren't able to ban that Ethereum address. Maybe there was an alert put out to centralized exchanges that said if anybody tries to transfer Ethereum from this wallet, then you blacklist that wallet, and maybe that's why he used these privacy services. But privacy services are still around and can be used for good and bad, right? So there's still hope. There might be some privacy left in this strange world. There's a great YouTuber called The Privacy Guy, and let me see if I can. Let's go here. Whoops. I think I would have to do it this way. I'm not sure why he's not the critical drinker. Huh. I thought I was subscribed to his channel. Let's check him out here. I think that's him. Privacy Guy? Yes, here he is. Rob Braxman. Great, really smart guy. Talks about privacy and anonymity. De-Googled phones, how to maintain your privacy, security, anonymity. Great YouTube channel. I highly recommend checking out his stuff. Kind of inspired me to maybe do more content related to that because I have done lots of videos on Tor and Monero, right? Okay, Dan's here. Thanks for being here tonight, Dan. Let's see. I still had one more article to cover. I think I've talked about this. I just wanted to show you this article and show you there's a link in the description down below. You can check it out. And it talks about the Trezor wallet hacks. When this whole thing with Ledger blew up and people were talking about that they didn't trust Ledger anymore, I did some videos on migrating over to Trezor, and I got several comments from people saying, oh, don't you know Trezor's been hacked? And so I kind of wanted to kind of peel away the hype from that. Yes, Trezor wallets have been hacked in the past, and And since then, the company has put countermeasures in place to deal with those specific hacks. So, and both of the hacks that occurred were not remote hacks. So through normal use of your Trezor, you're not at risk of being quote unquote hacked. And they're talking about being able to remotely gain access to your PIN or seed phrase. That just is not a thing. These hacks that occurred, they talk a little bit about the Trezor. Okay, so here was the first one, the Joe Grand's attack. In early 2022, hardware hacker Joe Grand revealed how he hacked a Trezor Model 1. And this is a Model 1, not a Trezor T. The Trezor T is the one that I use. The Model 1 is their simpler model. Trezor fixed this vulnerability soon after it was disclosed. Boom. It's been fixed. So, I don't know, every time I talk about Trezor, people want to scream, oh, it's been hacked. Well, they fixed it. They moved the PIN and key to the RAM during the firmware update and installed unauthorized code on the device. After the video was released, Trezor confirmed that this exploit was fixed and could no longer happen on new devices. And then the other one is seed extraction attacks, which is what we're all worried about, right? No one wants their seed to get extracted from their device. The other two attacks on Trezor were so-called seed extraction attacks performed by the Don John security team and the read protection downgrade attack performed by Kraken Security Labs. Both attacks could happen only because the passphrase feature was not enabled, right? So if you're using a Trezor with a passphrase, then you are not, there's no remote way that they could hack your device, even if they had physical possession of it, if you're using passphrase. A strong passphrase fully mitigates the possibility of a successful attack. So you should always have it activated. Also, this is the big one. The attacker must possess a specialized hardware tool, strong technical knowledge, and physical access to bypass the protection. So that means they have to have the device in their hand. So if you're using a Trezor at home, you're golden, right? You don't have to worry about anything. It is a safe and secure device. I would say the same about the Ledger, right? But I wanted to bring up this article just to kind of dispel some of these rumors. There are so many things out there, and I like a meme or whatever, or a belief or a concept or an event, and someone says it or speculates about it, and it just spreads like wildfire. One of them, that the Ledger firmware update was a backdoor. This has never been proved one way or the other, but Ledger has a built-in backdoor is just a trope that gets thrown around on Reddit all the time, as well as this one, which is, don't you know Trezors have been hacked? Don't use them. They're not safe. Well, we can see from this article that there's some truth to the statement, but that those vulnerabilities have been fixed. That is why your firmware gets updated. And that is part of what open source is all about, right? The code is out there for anyone to see. They can analyze it, find vulnerabilities, exploit them, or report them, right? This is the real world, right? This is what open source is all about. So there's two philosophies concerning hardware wallets. One is secrecy and the other is transparency. And they are both attempts at creating a secure wallet, right? People bang on Ledger because they're not transparent, but they're trying to keep the inner workings of their device a secret because we don't want the bad guys to know how the device works on the inside. People accepted that for many years until last year when they introduced their backup feature, and now suddenly that's a vulnerability. Anyway, I'm getting on my soapbox again. Let me read over here and see what's going on. Let's see. JDO is here. Thank you. Scott Lee is here. Thanks for being here. Scott, Test, good afternoon. Quick response. Quick question. Do you know if I can send $1 million via Coinbase to your Tangem wallet? I would say no. Coinbase Can, I know that's a joke question, but I will give you some serious remarks concerning that. I would assume that it is possible to move $1 million worth of, what is it Bitcoin you're talking about? You didn't say which crypto, you just said $1 million. But let's just assume we're talking about Bitcoin. $1 million worth of Bitcoin it's like flipping a light switch if you're just doing a wallet-to-wallet transfer. But as far as purchasing $1 million worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase and then withdrawing it, you're probably going to set off some red flags when you try to transfer $1 million worth of Bitcoin out of your Coinbase account. That's a lot of money, and Coinbase is a regulated exchange. It's your money. If you bought it and it's your Bitcoin and you want to move it to your wallet, there shouldn't be any problem. But I could just imagine that setting off a lot of red flags there at at Coinbase, and they might have to get more information from you and, get more personal information from you. And of course they would be obligated to alert the government, if you're making such a large withdrawal. Any kind of cash withdrawal over a certain amount must be reported to the government. And I'm assuming that the same holds for a crypto withdrawal on Coinbase, although that's not exactly the same thing. There's two scenarios. One is I have a bunch of Bitcoin. I transfer, 100 grand of Bitcoin to Coinbase, and then I attempt to withdraw. I sell it for US dollar and attempt to withdraw it back to my bank. That is something they would be compelled to report to the government, making that kind of withdrawal. I would assume that it would hold for a crypto transaction valued in real dollars, right? If I'm trying to withdraw 100 grand or $1 million in Bitcoin or Ethereum, there's going to be some red flags going up. So, yeah. But theoretically, it shouldn't be an issue, right? So I'm not sure what their max is. It looks like you noted that their max is 100K, and I'm not sure. I've never had to worry about those maxes, but I'm sure they do have certain maxes now, and I'm not sure how they work. Is it 100K a day? Is it 100K a month? Is it 100K per year? I don't know how all that works because, unfortunately, I've never been in a position to be in a position to make such a large withdrawal. But I do believe that almost every crypto exchange has certain limits on withdrawals. I seem to remember back in the day that Binance used to have I think it was only a 2 Bitcoin daily withdrawal limit for an unverified account, which meant that if you had created a Binance account with an email and a password and you had not provided any KYC, you didn't have to back in the day, and you were trading Bitcoin, you could make a 1 or 2 Bitcoin. And back then, 2 Bitcoin, that's 40 grand. So yeah, I don't know. And then if you wanted to withdraw more than 2 Bitcoin in a day, then you needed to have a higher tier account, right? One that had been. Emmanuel, thank you so much for that. Did you get the ETA out of my stacks? No, I did not. I did not get the ETA on my stacks. And I did kind of want to show you this. And I guess I pulled it down. I had bought 2 stacks. I bought a stacks, and I put it on my credit card the day they were available to be bought. It was $279. And then in late December, I bought another one using my Ledger Market NFT. Of course, I haven't received either of them, but I decided to get a refund on that first purchase because I thought, well, I guess I closed it. Okay. Well, anyway, I did. I went ahead and got a refund, or I canceled my order on my first stack. So I'm still going to be getting a stacks. And the stacks that I bought with my Ledger Market NFT supposedly is in the front of the queue, right? They said back then that if you bought a Ledger stacks with your NFT, you would be first in the queue. There has been no ETA. I think it's been a few weeks now, but they did give an update that kind of explained what the problem was, and it was the e-ink technology on the screen. And they apologized for that and all that stuff, but they still have given no ETA on when this thing is going to ship, if ever. So no, I have not. Have you? I mean, if anybody here gets an email from Ledger saying that their stacks will be shipping soon, please throw it up for all to see so we can all rejoice. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. MSN predictions of shutdown are way overblown. Yes, they usually are. I agree. Bidenomics seem to have worked out so well, and with those reliable numbers, who knows how bad it really is. Really. BTC 22.6, then back up to 31.7. Okay. Thoughts on the new Tangem wallet? Okay. So I've talked a little bit about it. I think it's pretty cool. But let's talk about the issue of the seed phrase. But let me just check here. Oh man, I'm way behind. I'm so far behind, guys. I'm sorry. I want to get to everybody's question here. Tangem 2.0. Okay, so we got a couple of Tangem 2.0s. That's fine. It's been 2 weeks with the new Tangem wallet. Sometimes my Note 9 unable to scan the new card. I guess James has one. I don't think they're available until October 6th, but they may have sent out a few to some higher tier influencers like maybe Crypto Casey. I don't know. Paulo, good night. Bon, but you used to talk a lot about Luna, BNB, and many others. Yeah, I did. That is true. I did. But in those discussions, I was generally explaining how to use them. And I was trying to let you know about the mechanics, which I still do with Bitcoin and Ethereum and a lot of Solana and a lot of others. So yeah, I mean, I talk about how to use coins and how to transfer them. And if someone has a coin that maybe they just bought and they can't figure out how to get it out of their wallet or move it somewhere, or they accidentally moved it and they can't figure out what happened. That kind of stuff I'm more than happy to address. It's sort of the what do you think the price action is going to be question that I try to avoid. But yeah, and I have to be perfectly honest, a lot of times I have been fooled by someone that said, how do I move coin X to my wallet? And then I figured out, I pulled up the wallet in CoinGecko and I played around with it a little bit. And then after a week, I thought to myself, you know what? He might have just been shilling that coin and just wanted me to demo it so that other people might see it. And then, but like I said, I try to be diplomatic, and I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So yes, I did talk a lot about BNB and Luna and how to move them around. And I do a lot of demos on D apps and dexes like PancakeSwap and Uniswap and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'll talk about coins. I'll answer your questions. I just don't like to talk about their price action. I trust you to give an honest opinion. Thank you, James. Compatible with MetaMask. A sub channel about privacy would be interesting. That would be cool. Didn't VTalk move some tokens around this week? That could possible. Thanks for your live streams. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Dan's touting the block, the halving coming up. Good afternoon. Have you heard anything about the Bricken project? I have not. Bricken project? Sounds like a sci-fi movie from the 70s, the Bricken project. Create your digital asset with our token suite. I don't know about this. Neat. Yeah. No, I'm not familiar with it. I haven't encountered it. Let's see. We're going to stick with this. We'll talk about Tangem. We'll talk about the issue. And then we'll, let me see. Emmanuel, thank you. Did I get my ETA on my stacks? No, I did not. Have you passphrase Rex on your Ledger device? Yes, I have used passphrases on Ledgers and Trezors. Would love to see a video on how to do it safely. I can oblige you with that right now. Let's see. Passphrase. One of the most recent ones is this one. How to protect your Ledger with a passphrase. And then I had done one a couple years ago. The most recent one is pretty good, right? Whenever you're looking at a video of mine and you might want to poke around a little bit and try to find the most recent. I still get comments on videos I did like 3 or 4 years ago, and bless their hearts, a lot of times, I'll paste in, if I see I see all my comments, they pop up in my studio center. And so I'll see a comment and I'll say, oh my gosh, that's like a way outdated video. I'll generally reply to them with a link to the more recent video on that topic, right? So yeah, if you're just poking around on the internet looking for a CryptoDad video, try to find one that's pretty recent. Yeah, because I do have a lot of stale videos out there. It's just the nature of this technology. But the nature of YouTube is such that when you pull down videos, it affects your metrics. So I just leave them all up. It's hard enough to get metrics on YouTube as it is. With me pulling down my videos that are outdated, it would just really wreak havoc on my metrics. Let's see here. Looking forward to Stacks release. Yes, I am too. I'd like to do a video on that. Daniel Johnson, nice to meet you. Can we give me some advice, please? I want to buy some XRP and need to know what is the best platform and how to use it. Should I buy the Ledger or the Trezor? Well, you can, now that the SEC is ruled in XRP's favor, XRP is listed on Coinbase. So, I mean, if you want to buy some XRP, then I would just recommend you running over to Coinbase and buying some. It's not that difficult to buy XRP on Coinbase. And if you're in the US, it's one of the most trusted platforms out there. I'm on the wrong browser here. Let's see here. So you can buy XRP on Coinbase. You can buy XRP on Binance US, Kraken. If you're out of the US, you can buy XRP on Binance US or KuCoin, or on Binance proper, right? Well, that's Binance US, but there's no off-ramp there, but you can use it as a crypto-only exchange, or Binance. Come on, Rick. Binance, the Binance, right? If you're in the, I can't use it because I'm in the US, but if you're in Europe or Asia, I would highly recommend Binance, a great crypto exchange. Those are good places to buy XRP, and then you can store it in a Trezor or a Ledger. Either one works just fine. I've done lots of videos on both the Ledger and the Trezor. Check them out. I use Ledger more than I do Trezor, but I'm starting to, I have lots of wallets laying around the house, and I'm going to do the OneKey here in a bit. Most crypto wallets can store XRP. But thanks for being here, Daniel Johnson, Mr. Johnson. JDO, do you need a video on how to protect a user that creates a passphrase then loses it? Yes, the passphrase is pretty dangerous. It is super secure, but by the same token, most people are not super secure in their habits. And if you were to misplace or forget your passphrase, you would be SOL when it comes to your crypto. So you have to be very careful using passphrases. I usually don't recommend them for newcomers. Where can I buy and hold IOTA? I don't know about IOTA. I had IOTA a long time ago. You can probably still buy it on Binance. I don't think you can buy it anymore on Coinbase. Whoops. Yeah, looks like you still can buy it on Coinbase, right? If you want it. I guess that's IOTA. IOTX. Is that IOTA? Let's see here. IOTX. No, that's not. IOTA is, whoops. There. Oh, that's MIOTA. Okay, so let's see. Can you buy it here? MIOTA. No. Yeah, IOTA is like kind of a funky crypto. I was interested in it back in 2017. Too complicated. That's my that's my take on IOTA. They have their own blockchain called the Tangle, right? It's like, and they use their own binary language that's not binary. It's trinary. I mean, it's just like they're well-intentioned, but dude, it's better to work, every other, project out there uses binary code rather than trinary. I mean, it's just kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know about IOTA. You might be able to get it still on Binance. Yeah, so yeah, you could still get it on Binance, but I can't get it. All right, so let's talk quickly. There have been several questions about the Tangem, the new Tangem wallet, right? So this is a Tangem. I have one here, and let's look at their website. And as I mentioned, they have announced a new Tangem card with an optional seed phrase. Now, they are still recommending that you not use the seed phrase. The beauty of this wallet is that you don't need to write your seed phrase down. You don't need to store it safely. You just need to manage the card itself. And there are two scenarios. You can buy a 3-card or a 2-card set. Now, I know where all 3 of mine are, right? I have all access to all 3 of them. Maybe I should keep the 3rd one somewhere off-site. Oops. But, it's a wonderful, easy to use, easy to set up card. The only drawback to this little scenario is that if you lose all 3 cards, then you have lost your crypto. And that people just can't seem to wrap their head around that. It's a pretty simple idea, and I think it's just a really wonderful way of dealing with this whole issue of people mismanaging their seed phrases, much better than the way Ledger decided to handle it. As I mentioned earlier, the most common way of people losing their crypto is by mismanaging their seed phrase, either losing it or accidentally revealing it or being tricked into revealing it. So Ledger's solution, and this is a real problem in the crypto hardware wallet community, is that people are getting tricked into revealing their seed phrases. At most crypto wallets, you have to manage your seed phrase. You have to, initialize the wallet, write down the seed phrase, and store it in a safe place. And then if you're a newcomer and you don't understand what's going on and you're out there looking for help, with tech support or a Reddit or whatever, there are so many people out there that are just waiting to trick you into revealing that seed phrase. Well, it can't happen with the Tangem wallet, because when you initialize the wallet, the seed phrase or the private key never leaves the device, right? There's nothing to see. There's nothing to write down. The only drawback is you've got to make sure you don't lose all three of your cards. Pretty simple the way I see it. But that was the biggest complaint about the Tangem card was, I can't back it up. I want to be able to back it up. Well, so they're like, okay, we're going to give you a way to back up your seed phrase. And this is what you can do with their new card. But they still recommend that you don't do that you simply use it the way it's intended, which is initialize the card. It's going to generate the private key. During that process, you will use the app to sync the other two cards, right? Now, I get a lot of people that say, don't you know NFC has been hacked or is a very insecure protocol? And they don't trust NFC, which is near field communication, which is how the card communicates with your phone. I hadn't heard that was unreliable or risky protocol. It's used in almost everything now. It's in your credit card, it's in your debit card, it's in your ID card. I've never heard that near field technology was, hackable or, unsafe or unreliable. I mean, it's a modern technology. But the Tangem guys are really smart. And when you initialize the first card and you go through the process of syncing to your backups, once that's done, it's a done deal. You can't add more cards to the scheme, right? So it's a very localized process that takes place in the privacy of your own home. And are there any attack surfaces? Maybe. But what I want to talk about is this new Tangem card. The only way to display the seed phrase is by showing it on your device, because there is no display screen on this card, right? So most hardware wallets, when you initialize them, it requires you the seed phrase is presented to you on the device itself. That's the way the Trezor works. That's the way the Ledger works. That's the way the OneKey hardware wallets work. They don't want to have the seed phrase showing up on your computer screen or on your phone app, right? That's a potential vulnerability. Well, the Tangem card, and as I said, they were sort of coerced into offering this service. The only way to present that seed phrase to you will be in the Tangem app, right? Let me just move over. I've been down in the corner all the show. This is my man cave, my setup. And we're talking about seed phrases here. I wrote that down to remind myself. That's my low tech. We've got our cameras set up over here. We've got this overhead camera so that we can take a look at the Tangem app here real quick. Let's shift over to this one. And hopefully this camera's going to work. I'm going to have to finagle this camera a bit. It's kind of a pain, but yeah, I don't know why it's always just problematic. But anyway, all right, so you can see my phone here. And if we go into the, whoops, Tangem wallet. So you can see here that this card is just like a credit card, right? There's no magnetic strip on it or anything like that. It uses NFC, which is near field communications, to sign transactions, right? So you're going to, hopefully I didn't mute the mic when I did that. And the card initializes. Now I'm not, I'm not up to speed on everything concerning NFC, but it's my understanding that it doesn't require any power. I could be wrong about that. Well, it must not, because this card doesn't, there's no way to plug this card in or charge this card, right? But when you initialize the card using the app, the private key never leaves the card. It gets stored on the card. And so as you can see, anything that you need to do in the wallet has to be done in the app, which is fine. That's the way most hardware wallets work when it comes to displaying your, the coins that you're managing, the balances, the transaction history. That's blockchain, that's public blockchain stuff anyway, so it's not a big deal for that stuff to occur on your phone. When we run into problems when we want to display our seed phrase on our phone. Now, there are wallets such as like Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet is a phone-only based wallet, and when you initialize Trust Wallet, it presents that seed phrase to you on your phone, right? It has to, because it doesn't have any hardware besides the app itself. And so in order to back up your Trust Wallet, you need to see the seed phrase on your phone. There's a couple other phone-based wallets that are similar, like MetaMask. If you use the mobile version of MetaMask, when you initialize the wallet, it will display the private key or the seed phrase to you on the phone. So it's not like it's really oh, there went that camera. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to finagle this camera again. Whoops. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know what that is. It's something weird about this camera. Oh, by the way, I had mentioned earlier how technically challenging it is to do these videos. And I was doing the OneKey the other day, and I was like struggling with one particular camera. I can't remember which one. And then I was like, you know how many cameras? I went to my wife. I said, I counted all the cameras on my system. I said, I was like, do you know how many cameras I have on this system? Right? I have 5. I have 5 cameras. My wife's like, 5? I was like, yes, I have 5. And she goes, well, I was just guessing, but I had counted them earlier. So I have this camera. This one, this is the Logitech. I have this camera here, which is the Razer. I have this camera, so that's 3, and then I have the 2 webcams, the Elgato Facecam and the Elgato Facecam Pro. Not to mention the mic and all these other devices that I have plugged in. The 3rd monitor over my shoulder there. I've just got so many USB devices that, things just get whacked out sometimes. Right? Anywho, let's go back to this if we can. Okay, it's still there. Okay, cool. So if I'm going to initialize a brand new Tangem card, since there's no display on the card, it will need to present the seed phrase to me And there, the camera froze again. Okay. Well, okay. This is the last time I'm going to mess with this camera. If the camera freezes again, I'm just going to keep talking and you'll be able to see what I'm doing here. So the brand new card will be forced to use the app to display the seed phrase. But in my mind, that's not a deal breaker, right? As I mentioned, it's fairly common for crypto wallets to present the seed phrase for, phone only wallets to present the seed phrase to you on your phone screen. People feel that's a vulnerability, and it's not a unfounded worry because there's a technology, and let's just move over to the other screen here. Let me see if I can find it here. Oop-a-doop-a-doo. I'm old. I can't remember this stuff off the top of my head, and I'm not going to be able to find it. Yeah, okay. Okay. It's called client-side scanning. And it is a technique that can be used on computers, tablets, and phones. And Apple does it. And basically what they do is they what is appearing on the screen, there's a hash is made of what's appearing from what the user is looking at on their screen. And then those hashes can be submitted to a database that could decide, it would compare it to other hashes that are created from unwanted content, like, child pornography, human trafficking, that kind of stuff. That's the reason why they say they need this technology. Well, they could apply the same technology to, political opinions, right? If you're a MAGA guy or you're a Democrat, they could block your messages. So client-side scanning is a real thing. I don't know that that there is someone in a cubicle somewhere looking at or reviewing the actual images of what people can see on their devices. But it is a real technology that Apple is capable of. I'm not sure to what extent Microsoft does it, but anything that you can see on your screen can be detected by this technology, right? Whether it's being used by Apple or whoever, right? So that is a real concern that, okay, I don't want my seed phrase to appear on my phone. That's a deal breaker for me. Okay, fine. That is a deal breaker for you. It's not a deal breaker for everyone in the world that uses crypto on their phone, though. And I don't really think it's a deal breaker for Tangem to present that seed phrase to you on the screen of your phone. If you're worried, perhaps you could do it offline. I'm pretty sure that the NFC near field technology involved in the process could be, it can work if your phone is offline. Now, taking your phone offline is not trivial, but I think you could turn off Wi-Fi and turn off data and maybe even remove your SIM card and just use the phone once you have the app downloaded, and then do your initialization and backup. And then after you've written it down, then you can put your phone back online. But I don't think that Apple and the people that are doing client-side scanning are out to steal your seed phrase. But the existence of this technology would tend to, one of the arguments against this is that it won't be, it's not unfeasible for hackers to gain access to this data. I mean, if the companies can get to it, then the companies can get hacked and hackers could gain access to this data. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that hackers can see what's going on your screen and maybe steal your private keys if they're showing up on your screen. So, but it's not a total reality at this point, as far as I know. Could be wrong. But I think governments are worried maybe more about other stuff like terrorism than they are about stealing the average Joe's private key. But like I said, if you like, you could do this kind of stuff offline because it's NFC near field communication. The signal that comes from the card to the phone is local, right? So that might mitigate that. Okay, Tangem, not for me. I find it scary to have the seed phrases. What if Tangem goes bankrupt? You cannot go to another platform. Well, Tangem, first of all, Tangem does not have your seed phrase. The card is initialized locally, and there's a random number generator. So it's just a random private key that gets generated locally by the user when they're initializing the card. So Tangem doesn't have your seed phrase. The seed phrase is on the card. There are, yes, Tangem is a proprietary company, and without a backup phrase, and that's one of the main arguments that people want, a backup phrase, then you're sort of reliant on Tangem. But there are several arguments against that that Tangem addresses in their FAQs. And, one of them is that the app is open source. I don't know where that would be, but it's here somewhere. Their app is open source. It's on GitHub. So, and I think one of those questions is, if I can find it here. Oh, to do. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find it while I'm like here live. Maybe let's try general. Nah, it's got to be in security. Let me just do this slow. People talk about the longevity of the card. What if the app is not available? Doggone it. Come on, Rex. I know they had this question in here. Anyway, they address it. They're saying, okay, if we go out of business, the app will still work. The cards will still work. They have a 25-year guarantee. And the app is open source, so even if the Tangem servers aren't around, you'll still be able to use the card. So I know a lot of people bring up that argument that, I don't want to use Tangem because they might go out of business tomorrow and then all my crypto's gone. That's they've addressed that. They thought about that. It's not like somebody asked them that at Tangem and the guy at Tangem was like, oh, geez. Oh, I guess we better redesign this card. We didn't think about that. They thought about that, right? So yeah, the cards have high longevity. The app will still work even if the company goes out of business, and even if the app is taken down from the App Store. It's the code is on GitHub, which is pretty much permanent, and anyone can create an app. So yeah, they've addressed those concerns to a certain extent. But I mean, there are a lot of people, Tangem's not for them. I get it. I read that some people open an old smartphone and remove Wi-Fi circuits in order to use it as a hardware wallet. Yeah, I mean, that might be another way to keep the phone. Unfortunately, you can't really use a wallet without an internet connection, because the public-facing part of the wallet needs to be have access to the blockchain, which is on the internet, right? But yeah, I mean, I think you could, deconstruct a phone to use as sort of an offline private key holder or generator or whatever. I mean, there's easier ways to generate private keys offline. I've got this little cube here from Elipal, which can generate random keys, which is pretty cool. I think this is really a neat little device. It's completely offline, and it's got this tiny little screen here. You can't really see it very well, maybe with this one. Yeah, you can just like initialize it and then tell it, okay, I want, oops, it was in focus there a second ago. It's not going to cooperate with me. Like you can say, okay, I want a 24-word seed phrase. You just hit that. Then it just randomly generates seed phrases for you. And you can use these seed phrases in hardware wallets, right? So, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to generate seed phrases. You don't have to destroy a perfectly good $1,000 iPhone to do it. Okay. You have so much technology, I'm not surprised you have technology issues. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I had bought one to check some silver, and when I was done, set the magnet on top of my wallet. Ouch. Medium magnet will also wipe out a card. Oh, we're talking about there are ways to wipe NFC cards? I was not aware of that. I thought that they addressed that. Lost, broken. Here it is. What will happen to the card when it is exposed to a powerful magnet field, for example, in an MRI machine? What is the probability that the wallet will demagnetize and stop working? The chip does not contain any magnetic elements and that could demagnetize. Moreover, the Tangem card chip is protected against EMPs, ESD, electrostatic discharge, and X-rays in compliance with the ISO 78161 standard. So yeah, they've thought about this stuff. I mean, they're not dummies, right? They're very smart guys that developed this card. This card has been doing very well. I think their sales are going well. So more power to them. They're designed in Switzerland. Somebody made a comment that they ordered one and it was shipping from China, and they were like, why is it shipping from China when it says they're made in Switzerland? Well, I could ask the same question about my Apple computer. Why is it shipping from Shanghai when, they're based in, Cupertino, California? It's because most companies like outsource their manufacturing, or maybe, the final production and distribution is done, they outsource it to other places like China or Taiwan or wherever. I don't find that strange. But like I said, I think we talked earlier about trust issues that people have with wallets that are made in China, right? They're always, I don't trust a wallet that's made in China. I could make the same argument for a wallet made in West Virginia or, near CIA headquarters. I would trust them less, So let's see. We wanted to do the OneKey. I wanted to play around with OneKey. I wanted to demo something that I thought was really cool about the OneKey. It's that they have, and let me see, where is this thing? Oh, okay. I'm going to disconnect the Trezor for now. Yeah. So I'll just show you this wallet here real quick. Come on, baby. There you go. Yeah, that camera's flaked out again. This is the OneKey. I'm just going to connect it here. It's the OneKey Classic. We don't need the phone there. So this is the keypad. Actually, you shouldn't see that. Pardon me. It's not a big deal. It's just a one-time keypad that will help me enter the key. Please enter the current PIN. Please enter the current PIN. Oh, that's because I have the app. Thank you. Sorry. Sell the mic on eBay. I know I hate this friggin' mic. It's a really good mic. I mean, short of, a $5,000 mic, It's one of the most expensive mics you can buy for influencers, but it just has this weird tap to mute feature, which I hate. Oh, again. Notifications are silenced also? Phone goes straight to voicemail. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at my phone. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. God, I hate this fucking mic. I just fucking hate it. That's all I can say. Okay. See, it even makes CryptoDad swear. Okay. Well, it's going to take a while for you guys for the latency to catch up. I don't know how long I was out. Anyway, I'm back. God, this mic. It's the bane of my existence. Besides trying to get the cameras to work when I'm trying to record a video. Okay, so what I wanted to point out is that OneKey has this really cool software that you can download for free and use for free. And you can make standalone wallets in this software. Yeah, even if you sent me Litecoin, I wouldn't know. Let's go to the website real quick. Ugh, so hard to recover from that. I know, it just bums me out when that happens. Seems like it happens at least once a live stream. Okay. I'm just going to have to move on. Let's pretend nothing happened. All right, so on their website, where you can look at their an overview of what OneKey is all about, and look at their different products. I've never used the mini, but I did set up a OneKey Touch, and tonight we're going to use the OneKey Classic. This OneKey Lite is like a backup card for a phone-based wallet. It's kind of an interesting concept. Not very expensive, but you can get their app for free and you can use it without buying one of their devices. And it's completely open source, right? So it's available on GitHub, right? All their stuff is available on GitHub, which is a software repository used by developers. Truly open source. Let's see, and they got a bunch of repositories, right? Their firmware, the token list, the docs, the firmware updater, everything is open source. Pretty cool, right? They do have a secure chip element, but their thing is a very simple secure chip element. None of the processing of the private key is done in the software or in the secure chip, in the CPU. So it's a very secure, open source, transparent solution. And like I said, you can download their app for your phone or your computer. And they even have like, let me go back here. They even have software verification tools for verifying your software downloaded. OneKey is Chinese. Hate them. Okay, got it. We've been talking about Chinese, right? So like I said, it doesn't matter to me where the company is located. That does not affect my trust of the company. People out there want to hate on Chinese. Okay. Like I said, I'm more worried about the NSA and the CIA than I am the CPP, the CCP. I mean, call me a traitor, I guess. But anyway, yes, it's Chinese. Yes, they're from Hong Kong. I think we talked about this already. So we can, but if it's open source on GitHub and they have software verification tools, then you can look at the software and clearly see that it's not malware, right? So we don't have to trust them. Everything's open source, right? So could be they were from the heart of Moscow. They could be, CIA headquarters could be making this hardware device and this software. It doesn't matter because it is totally transparent. It's open source. So who cares where it comes from? That's my take on it, right? That's what open source software is all about, and hardware. Anyway, so you can download and use their open source software and standalone, right? As you can see, this is the wallet that's associated with the OneKey Touch, but I can switch wallets over to the OneKey Classic. Right? This is what's on the OneKey Classic. So that's pretty cool. It's funny. Oh, they do have all networks. Okay. Oh, they don't. Okay, let's create an account. Select networks. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. All right, so let's say we want to just select every network that I might want to worry about in here. So it said all networks. Okay, so there's 15 others that I could select if I want to. Okay. So give it a minute to update, and that's pretty cool. See, I didn't know you could do that. I just saw that. Before it was like, okay, you have to flip networks. I'm on Bitcoin network. Okay, there's $40 worth of Bitcoin here, or I could be on the Ethereum network, and there's a little bit of Ethereum in the wallet, or I could be on the Solana network and look at what I've got on Solana. And also, now I know I can do this all network thing. where I can toggle the networks on and off. It's pretty cool. It looks like I could, add more if I wanted to. So pretty versatile software. This is what I really was impressed about when I did this. And then you can also add an app wallet, right? I can just add a standalone wallet. That's like I'll set a password. They're going to give me a seed phrase, and it'll just sort of be like a desktop-based wallet. Not like totally secure, but completely open source and as secure as my computer, right? Just like any other open source desktop-based software like the Electrum Bitcoin wallet, right? You can create standalone wallets. Well, what did I just do there? I think I just closed it. I wanted to get out of that interface, but okay. Yeah. So very versatile open source software. But what I wanted to point out about this wallet, which I thought was really cool, was that you can do cross-chain swaps on this. And most wallets will support on-chain swaps, like from within Ethereum. So, for example, like if I went over here to the Ethereum and I wanted to do a swap, I could swap on the Ethereum chain, just like I'm in Uniswap or 1inch or anything. I don't know if this is built on top of one of those protocols, but it's really cool. You can do it within the wallet, right? Now, but what's also cool is you can do cross-chain swaps. And it's like I'm trying to figure out how you get to that. Yes, okay. So I can not only swap like ERC20 tokens, right? So I got some ETH in here, and I want to swap for some wrapped Bitcoin, okay, or maybe some US dollar coin, right? I missed what that said. Or some Link, or some BAT, if it's in here. I don't see any BAT, but I don't know. SHIB. So that's really cool. But they also have cross-chain swaps. So let's go back over, whoops, if I can figure this out. Okay. Let's go over to the Solana. Super doop doop. Let's go back here. Let's go to Solana, right? Because I have some Solana in this wallet, right? So if I wanted to swap some Solana for SHIB, then I could do that cross-chain, like right here. Maybe not all of my Solana, but I could do a cross-chain swap. I wanted to do a little Bitcoin tonight because I think that's really cool that you can buy Bitcoin with, do cross-chain swaps. Oops. Ugh. I'm dropping this thing. All right, so that's it. Token. Oh, did I do this or not? What happened? Cross-chain, Bitcoin. Oh, I just had to click it again. Okay. All right, so we got this all lined up. I'm not going to do it all. Let's try maybe 3. Yeah, that's 64 bucks. So let's swap some Solana for some Bitcoin and see how that works. This will be my first time. Let's try, we'll click. Now I've got the device ready to roll, right? And I'll put it over on the other table over there. We'll hit cross-chain swap. Building up transaction data. Okay, they want me to confirm on the device. I'll try not to mute the mic when I go over here. Okay, there's my confirmation on the device. We'll hit next. There's the sender, that's me. All right, there's the destination, which is, that looks like a Solana address. Yeah. Fee payer, sender, that's me. Let's approve it. Let's go back here. Okay, it said transaction submitted. Okay, so it's one in progress up here. So I'm going to receive some Bitcoin for Sol. Oh, they're using this thing called Swift Bridge. Okay. What's Swift Bridge? Let's see. Okay. Looks slightly different. No, that's not the same thing. Yeah, the icon looks different. Oh, it's Swift with no I. Okay. Huh? I misspelled it anyway, right? Or there. Is this it? No. Come on, Rex. Oh. All right, let's try this again. Swift Bridge. Did you mean Swift Bridge? No, I didn't. I meant this. There we go. This is it. Okay, I guess that's that. That's it. All right, so this is what's going on under the hood, right? But I don't have to worry really about that. Ah, I'm blocked in this country. All right. But it can happen on my wallet, hopefully. We'll see what happens. Still says it's pending. Give it a minute. While this is waiting. Now, also, the same thing happens in Tangem. Tangem also has swap that's built in. Just while we're waiting for that. The Tangem wallet has, like if you go in here, they've got a swap thing, and it's built on top of one maximum. It's built on top of 1 inch, and you can use it within your Tangem wallet. But if I just sit down at my computer and try to pull up 1 inch, it won't work because I'm geo-blocked. But for some reason, both of these wallets can access these services that are unavailable in my country. It's kind of weird. Yeah. All right, well, let's do this. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I hope it doesn't take too long. So there's no KYC required to do this. Now, I'm using this software with my hardware device, but I believe you could use the software with a standalone wallet in the same way. I could be wrong, but I would think that by using the OneKey software, you could, fund the wallet from Coinbase or whatever, but once you had it in the wallet, then you wouldn't need any KYC. You'd be able to freely swap cryptos back and forth. But the trick is getting a hold of crypto in the first place without KYC. Very difficult, right? You got to buy it somewhere. You got to if you can't just snap your fingers and have crypto in your wallet. If you've got money in the bank and, you paid your bills and you got a little left over for crypto, you got to buy it somewhere with your cash. And that would include, getting it on an exchange that requires KYC. Now, someone had mentioned to me, oh, well, I know some of these services will let you use a debit card. So conceivably, you could get a prepaid debit card. But even prepaid debit cards required ID, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know that there's any, just standalone prepaid debit cards. Maybe they are. Maybe you just buy them at the store. And I don't know how you fill them up. I guess you fill them up with cash somehow. But yeah, it's really, really difficult for to buy crypto with dollars or any currency other than crypto without going through some KYC somewhere along the line. And even if you're using somehow you've got a debit card that's not tied to your identity, in order to use it online with like MoonPay or whatever, you still got to go through KYC to use the MoonPay or the Sardine or whatever the third-party services that'll take your prepaid debit card. Yeah, I don't know. This might take longer than I had anticipated. I didn't think it was going to take this long, but we'll see. I'm not worried about losing my crypto. I'm sure it will bounce back at me if this thing doesn't go through for some reason. But it does say pending. So, okay, there. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's an estimate 30 minutes. So it's not like, it's cool. And there aren't very many other wallets and or exchanges that give you bridge services this conveniently, but it's not quick, right? I didn't realize that it was going to be a 30-minute transaction, but maybe next week I'll show you that this went through okay. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, to just talking about crypto has raised so many identity and privacy and anonymity issues that I feel like it's probably, to talk about that kind of stuff on a separate channel would be cool. So I might end up doing that, just have a channel devoted to privacy and anonymity. Yeah, we'll see. Let me get caught up a bit. We're running short on time here, getting down to the end. You just need to spend a few years learning computing in some university. You can revise the code. HK place is full of billionaires. They need good BTC products, DeFi, etc. Didn't know about OneKey products. Was pleasantly surprised. Also knew Tangem card is promising. Daniel Johnson, if I buy the Ledger Nano X, is there anything that I need to be concerned with or need to be aware of? Well, that's, I don't know that there's a lot of things you need to be aware of. I don't know if you need to be concerned about. If you're going to buy a product, I think you can poke around on their website to get a pretty good idea of what it is you're going to be buying. That's a difficult question for me to address in a short way. But if you look at my YouTube channel, you can see that I've done lots of videos about any of these videos that you see here with the Ledger colors are related to Ledger, so I've done a lot of videos on Ledger and Trezor and Tangem and OneKey, and so and not just on wallet setups, but on concerns about using passphrases, dealing with problems in MetaMask and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you might want to just look into my videos a little more, because that's a pretty broad question. But thanks for being here, Daniel. Hey, bud, love the videos. Any idea how to get Caspa on cold wallet? Not out of the top of my head. I'm not familiar with Caspa. I'm liking this cross-chain swipe feature. Yes, I am too. I didn't realize it was going to be a 30-minute wait, though. I thought it was going to be a quick one. But, now that I think about it, the bridges that I've used in the past have been like this too, where it takes a while. Yeah, when you're doing cross-chain. I'm sure the on-chain swaps are much quicker. So, like if I wanted to do a swap on the Solana chain for just another Solana token, I think that would have been a lot quicker. OneKey was also hacked in OneSec, but one specialized company needed physical access to the device. That's fairly straightforward. Yeah, and because OneKey is open source like Trezor, that's part of the deal that you get with transparency, is that there are going to be people can review the code and look for vulnerabilities. That's that's what open source is all about. And then once it gets hacked, the company will fix it. We went through that article earlier about Trezor. And, yes, people figure out the code and find vulnerabilities and exploit them. And then they fix them after that. And as we pointed out, or as you pointed out, this was the attacker required physical access to the hardware device. Any swap services without KYC? Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, I can do this without KYC, but I had to use KYC to buy my crypto in the first place. And I had to tell OneKey where I live so they could ship me my product. So there's so many pitfalls. Yes, prepaid cards here in Europe, no KYC. Okay, so you could get your hands on a prepaid card. And, what I wanted to point out about that is that if, for example, Alan Power, thanks for the subscribe. If, for example, I wanted to use Buy on MetaMask, and I had a prepaid debit card, so let's say, okay, I've got this prepaid debit card I want to use, I would still need to sign up for a third-party payment processor to actually make this happen. And all of these guys are going to require KYC because they're involved in crypto and they want to be compliant. So even though I do have a debit card that's not tied to my identity, I would still need to provide my identity if I wanted to use that debit card to actually make a trade or transfer within MetaMask. Now, maybe there are other places that will allow me to use a prepaid debit card with no KYC, but they're few and far between. To learn that stuff, no KYC, you need to have a conversation with some criminal group, drug dealer, etc. Yeah, that's a good point, Paulo. Is buying a ledger from Best Buy a good idea? Sure. You can buy a ledger from Amazon. Ledger has an Amazon store, right? So there's a ledger store on Amazon. So you can buy a ledger device on Amazon, or you can buy one on Best Buy. It doesn't matter where you buy it, because Ledger has a genuine check built in, a cryptographic genuine check. So it doesn't really, people are leery of buying a Ledger at Best Buy. And what's cool about Best Buy is it's one of the few places where you can just walk into a store and buy it and walk out same day, right? You don't have to order it online and wait for it. You could even buy it with cash and not have to, reveal your identity that you bought it, right? There's no registration process when you set up a Ledger device. So if there are so many avenues that we want to take towards privacy and anonymity and personal security, right? One of those, if you wanted to get your hands on a hardware device without having to give out your address or have your name in Ledger's database, you could walk into Best Buy and just grab one with cash without having to give up any information. Now, they'll try to get your phone number at the desk, at the checkout lane, try to get you to sign up for all their services and be a member and all that stuff. But, you can politely decline for that stuff, right? There's a lot of issues that go into trying to buy crypto without revealing your identity. Tangem red flag. It's amazing that it supports 37 networks and thousands of coins. Most cold hard wallets don't even support half. Isn't this bad? Or weird? Is this supporting any coin out there? I wouldn't call that a vulnerability. The fact that they're flexible, personally, I wouldn't see that as a red flag personally. We talked about the Tangem card earlier, and the biggest red flag people are having only with the new Tangem card is the fact that in order to, if you want to use the optional seed phrase, it will need to be presented on your phone screen. And some people are seeing that as a liability, a vulnerability. But I don't personally. And there are ways to mitigate the risk to that. But other than that, no, I don't see. And Tangem is also open source. Yeah, you can review their code and their app on GitHub as well. Okay, I have set up a cold card. I'm not a huge fan because it's a little hard to use, but it is very security oriented. I've done a couple of videos on the cold card. This is the setup guide. So you might want to check that one out if you're interested in the cold card. It's a great crypto wallet. Yeah. But it's Bitcoin only. Right. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up. I went a little bit over this week. Sorry about the mic thing. Just looking at the stream, it looked like maybe I was muted for like 2 or 3 minutes. So apologize, guys. I really profusely. Thanks for joining me. I will be here again next week. I want to thank JDO and Dan for being here tonight. And I want to especially thank Dan for trying to call me. My phone is on silent. I'm an old guy. I don't like my phone chirping at me. So I keep it on silent most of the time because I usually have it right in front of me. It's like even when I'm watching TV or whatever, I keep it on the coffee table. I can see the alerts coming up. I just don't like hearing chirps. So sorry about that. When I was muted, Dan tried to call me and he couldn't get through. So apologize. But thanks, Dan. Thanks, Kenny, for the news. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all those who subscribed tonight. Thanks for Asil and Emmanuel for their generous donations. I believe those were the two, Asil and Emmanuel. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks everyone that was here tonight. Thanks everyone that asked a question. I hope I wasn't too much of a cranky old man. Don't forget, we do this every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you guys again soon.